Okay. Well, talk about this, Tori, in terms of once we have all this necessary information that we actually just went through, the actual creation of the actual course. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about some of the steps that comes with that in terms of, designing the actual course material and, of course, having a place to house this course material, or the different models in terms of even launching a course? Because I know at times, you can have where you launch a course and you may do the trainings live with those customers that come in, and then take those recordings and maybe put them in a membership site or what have you, or you could do pre-recorded content. So there's different ways to go about it. So if you could talk a little bit about what you believe some of the best practices are in terms of that this year.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of different approaches, kind of different, different strokes for different folks. Obviously, one of the easiest ways just to kind of kick the door down is to take your training, live. Just do a live. I mean, we got all the Zoom platforms that we can have,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So it's just a matter of, for those that aren't quite sure, you could always kind of just, toss it out to your your email contacts or your social media followings, have them, engage with them to find out what are the challenges that you're dealing with, have them, complete a little assessment or survey to kind of empower you with, what kind of information to present. And then as they share that type of feedback, then, hey, well, actually I'm thinking about doing a course and I want to invite you to a free webinar that I'm hosting on, whatever day and time, where I'm actually going to talk about these types of issues that you're having. I'm going to provide, 5 different solutions to help you address this issue. And as if you make it, as they call it, freemium, there's no barrier to entry, so this way there's no reason for people to not take advantage of your offer to get this information. And so, they provide their emails and you do your webinar training with them. And during that time, once you kind of educate them and provide some value to them, and they now see you as someone who really knows what you're talking about and seems to know what you're doing, then they're inclined at that point to be open to what your offer is. And at that time, you can introduce your offer. And then, also interact with them, get their feedback, find out what their questions are, because that may even fuel other content ideas based on that type of feedback. And then, those that take you on that offer, you begin to work with them, but you're going to work with them a little bit more methodically, because now you want to work with them to be able to get some case studies, get some testimonials.
Exactly. Results.
So, and then when you're able to provide that, what we call social proof, right? So when you're able to get that social proof, you can repurpose that to now take those live trainings. Now you can introduce it as a pre-recorded training, right? And then you have all the testimonials and the case studies from people who went through the live training, saying how great it is. Now when you now you could repurpose all that content, offer a pre-recorded training. That pre-recorded training may even be a little bit more robust than the live training, because you were able to listen to some of the feedback you got from the live to provide some additional resources or additional content to the pre-recorded offer, and then say, hey, I have this great program. It's, it offers, module 1, 2, and 3. We have these free bonuses, and these are some of the great things people who have experienced it had to say, and we want to provide this support to you. They can put it on an evergreen site. Zoom has evergreen access to pre-recorded content amongst a multitude of other platforms. And people can pay for it, pay to get access to it. And then this is something that just kind of lives on forever, and then it's just a matter of, doing a lot of the work that you do with adding some marketing muscle to it, drive traffic ongoing 24/7 into this pre-recorded training that is converting, towards your paid program. The paid program might upsell them into your, consultation services or whatever else you have available to offer them that provides value.
Gotcha.
So and that can at the basic starter level, that can certainly be what you establish and set up.
Gotcha.